Dude, no way. What is happening right now? The only entrance is the gate. How did they get in without seeing me? Hey guys, it's Katie and welcome back to Lucid 9 Inciting Incident. In the last episode, Mizaki came over and she wanted to sneak into the school at nighttime and go onto the rooftop. And so we did, and she ends up telling us a little bit on why she left Seto a few years ago. She said that her father ended up committing suicide, so that's the reason why her and her mother had left. After that, she shows us how to patter, and we go home. The next morning, Akira calls us on the phone asking where Rue is, and we meet up with her at the school. Her and Rue end up getting into a big fight, and I'm pretty sure it's because they both like Yama. We go to class and we see Yaiko talking to Harubunya about, he's saying that, you know, there's 3 people that are missing from the first meeting. So we end up finding out that the missing students or the murdered students were in Yaiko's club. So I'm finding that pretty interesting. I really want to know what the connection is between them. Is this the reason why the person is killing these students? After class, we go to the courtyard and we see a group of girls bullying Eri, so we decide to stand up for her and take her away from there, and we end up playing a game with Eri. Then we run into Elizabeth and we hang out for her a little bit, and we get a phone call from Rue saying that she needs help with her luggage because, you know, her and Akira are fighting. So we take her to the train station, and we see that Yaiko and Shoji are in a fight. Shoji saying stuff like, "You just watched, stood there, killed, you're a liar." So is Yaiko responsible for the murders? I'm not sure. Shoji ends up falling over the side and onto the tracks, and he ends up getting hit by a train, and Yaiko ends up getting arrested. Yama ends up lapsing, and Rue takes him to his apartment. We end up seeing the memory of his sister Mizu saving Yama, and she got impaled herself from the bus crash. And because of that, Yama takes his frustration and anger out on Rue, you know, saying, you know, why have you stuck around me? Why are you always around? And kind of projecting his feelings onto her and his problems onto her. So Rue ends up leaving, Yama ends up leaving, and he goes to District 6, and we get a ping from Harubunya. And in the last episode, I really didn't know. Like, I seen that we got a ping from Harubunya, but when we turned the corner and we seen that body lying there, I did not know that that was Harubunya. So yes, it was him. It looked like he got stabbed a bunch of times, and it was just really grotesque. And, you know, I put a viewer discretion advised on my videos because, you know, that's pretty graphic. And the creepy thing is that Yaiko was there too, and I thought he got arrested. Am I suspecting Yaiko? Am I suspecting Yama? Because Yama's like, who am I during these lapses? And was that me? And, you know, I'm really confused about this. Anyway, the next day, we run into Mr. Iota, and he wants us to come to his office to kind of talk about the connections of Yaiko and the murders. So let's continue where we left off. His fingers fly over the tablet. I see its surface flashing in a myriad of colors like strobe lights at a concert. Then he freezes and drops the tablet. It hits the floor with a shrill clatter. I instinctively wince, almost expecting it to shatter into pieces. What the? Gingerly, I stoop forward to pick it up. The screen is a mash of information tidbits from the school records, patter feeds, and photos from Instacam. A group picture of a bunch of teens hanging out at a park, faces tagged as Yaiko Akari, Akane Tsukino, Shoji Hasigaya, and Harubunya. A matching pat from Yaiko, announcing the very first meeting of the Happy Club. An update from the roommate of Midori Mayano, claiming that Yaiko was harassing Midori with the most horrible pickup lines, and she doesn't even like chocolate. A picture of the orientation groups before school started, including Tayoma Hayashi as a part of Yaiko's orientation group. He'd led orientation? No, never mind that. What is this? Some conspiracy? It's like the universe was just waiting for me to dig into Yaiko Akari so that it could flood me with information that couldn't possibly be coincidental. The common thread? is Yaiko? No, this is ridiculous. I reject this reality and substitute my own. Well, I mean, maybe there's someone else in common. But there's a trend that I can't ignore. And even worse, each victim is getting progressively closer to Yaiko. Mr. Iota, if this is true... I look to Mr. Iota, but he's only staring at the floor, uncharacteristic shock etched all over his face. Mr. Iota? Huh? Oh, sorry. You know how, sometimes, you get so focused on something that, well, you kind of forget everything else? Does that happen to you? Often, not you? You seem pretty fixated on the idea that Yaiko Akari is related to these murders. You're not serious, right? I don't know. Everything seems like a possibility. It's as if I was stuck in a dark room with only vague shapes and sounds, feeling my way around. And then someone turned on the floodlights, leaving weird spots in my vision that have to be hallucinations but somehow aren't. Just the bell, kid. Guess you better get to class. Class? We're on the verge of discovering something vital about the killer, and I have to go to class? No, I should go. More than anything, I need to cool down. Give my mind time to process the shock. Bye, Mr. Iota. Take care, kid. I sidle out of the office and race down the hall, my mind still hazy with thoughts. There has to be another explanation. I must have missed something. Maybe I just shouldn't think about this until later. When I arrive, I notice that Yaiko's already in his chair. I instinctively freeze when I see him, worry still fresh in my mind. But wait, didn't Rue say that Yaiko had been arrested? Yeah, that's what I was saying, like, Yaiko was arrested, so how the hell was he at District 6? And why was he right by Haru's dead body? After the subway accident, hadn't he been taken under suspicion of Shoji's death? And yet, I saw him in District 6 last night. I definitely ran into Yaiko Akari, and we definitely had some kind of conversation. True, a lot of time passed because of my lapse. There were a good number of hours between the subway accident and the alley accident. But still, is it possible for someone to be released that quickly? Did he use his personal connections? Did he call on his parents to bail him out? No, I'm thinking about this the wrong way. He must have been released because they found out that he was innocent. Maybe bureaucracy isn't as inefficient as I thought. Maybe the case was finished because it was urgent. Yeah, as if that's likely. No, stop thinking about this. This is crazy. I temporarily shut my thoughts out and slip into my chair. Yaiko seems to be browsing through a patter feed. Ah, wait, we talked yesterday, back in District 6. It didn't seem like any ordinary conversation either. Are we on good terms? Neutral terms? Bad terms? From my memories, I'd guess that the encounter was negative. If I acted strangely, he'll find out about my lapses. What do I do? Then again, he's got someone's death weighing on his mind, someone who he knows. If he was an innocent witness, he'd be traumatized. He'd be different. How exactly do I act with someone who... Why, hello, my good minion. Yeah! I jerk backward, but he only grins brightly, waving his hand in front of my face. Feeling a bit under the weather? No worries. Have some coffee, straight from Buckstar Coffee House. He thrusts an insulated cup at me. I peer through the lip. Sure enough, I see thick caramel liquid that froths in a warm whirlpool. Hesitantly, I take the cup. The heat caresses my cold hands. Is it poisoned? My mind supplies. I shut it down. Oh, no need to thank me. I'm naturally this generous. A sharp chill runs down my spine. Is it possible to act so natural after seeing someone die? After seeing blood, tasting blood, hearing blood? Why is he grinning? Why is he acting like nothing happened? I didn't know Shoji that well, and even now, Even now. Yaiko. Hey, sounds like that's the warning bell. I'm gonna chat a little with Misaki. He bounces away with a spring in his step. What? Maybe this has something to do with our exchange yesterday. There's no other reason why he'd be able to completely ignore a death, much less the death of someone he knew, unless... Students, seats, please! The rest of the class rushes to their chairs. The commotion drowns out my thoughts. I force myself to pay attention through class. It's preferable to getting visions of bloody, beaten bodies. I answer the teacher's questions at every chance I get, and actually listen to the lecture. Apparently, it's such a rare occurrence that the entire classroom is staring at me by lunch. Still, break is break. Any momentary curiosity immediately halts at the first chime of the bell. Yaiko tugs at my shoulder, his face still alight with a cheery grin. Lunch? Calf? The old gang? I steel myself and look straight into his eyes. I saw you at the train station where Shoji died. Yaiko freezes. His expression flickers for a single moment, almost too quick to catch. What happened? Why were you there? His face flattens. A stab of guilt wrenches through my stomach, but I try to squash it. I need to know who I'm talking with, and who's talking. Come on, minion. If we wait too long, the lunchtime will take forever. A hungry overlord is not a happy overlord. Yaiko. Well, guess there's no forcing you if you don't want to come, even if you're a minion. Dude, Yaiko's acting so strange. Like, why is he not talking about what happened? Like, the conversation that Yami and Yaiko had, you know, after seeing that body. And after Shoji, especially, like, I don't understand why he's acting like nothing has happened. Ta-ta for now. He quickly prances out of the room before I can slip in another word in. I can't suppress a shudder of revulsion. The fact that Yaiko's acting the same as he always does, it's terrifying. Moreover, I've done nothing to ease my fears about my lapse. I still have no clue what happened yesterday, why I saw a bloody body, why I ran into Yaiko. You are disturbed. What happened? Ah. I almost jump at the sudden voice from behind. Ari is seated on the edge of the table, munching quietly on a peach. Of course she would. What the? Where did you come from? Classroom 2D? Well, I know that. She only tilts her head at me, like a perfectly calibrated machine, waiting for a simple command. Like a soulless doll ready to kill. No, I need to stop this. These are people I'm talking to, not machines, and they're not killers, and I'm not a killer, and we're just ordinary students at an ordinary school. Something is bothering you. I falter, my words cold in my mouth. My thoughts are building up in my head, pounding incessantly, begging for exit. Should I talk with her? Yeah, let's talk to her, why not? Yeah, I had an interesting day. What happened? Well, I saw someone die, maybe killed by my close friend. Then I was a jerk to the only person who stuck by me. Then I went to the sketchy part of town where I saw a mutilated body, except I can't remember how because my brain is only half functional. Not much. That's funny. She evaluates me for a moment from behind her peach. Let's go to the rooftop. What? She only gestures for me to follow her as she pops out of the classroom. Well, at the very least, I guess it's a better place to talk. Like most days, the rooftop is practically empty. Ari plops down in an obscure corner nibbling at her peach. Sit. I obligingly settle next to her. She pushes a peach into my hand. You're quiet. She states this placidly. The irrefutable fact of a textbook. I only stare at the peach. Is this for me? Yes. I can eat it? Yes. Hesitantly, I bite into the fruit. It's succulent and soft. I don't realize how hungry I am until that moment. I've had plenty of chances to eat, but little appetite. The sobering thoughts bring me back to the moment. I look into the sky, idly blurting whatever comes to mind. Feels like life has been the same for years. And now, everything's changing. I don't even know why. A wry smirk pulls at my lips. I close my eyes and lean my head against the bench. Give me some alcohol. Let's drink our sorrows away. Ari remains still, waiting for me to elaborate. You know, when people are upset, they drink themselves to oblivion. That kind of thing. Great idea, right? Now that's a contribution to society. Still silence. Disconcerted, I open my eyes. Ari is nowhere to be found. Where'd she go? She wouldn't have taken me seriously, would she? Wasn't it obvious that I was joking? Ari? Nothing. I quickly checked my phone. No message. Maybe she left for a different reason. Maybe she decided not to talk to me. Yama. Yeah! I whip around. Ari is standing behind me, hugging a bottle of sake in one arm and a bottle of vodka in the other. Where'd you get those? Oh crap, she actually took me seriously. Where did you get that from? No, never mind. How did you get that in the school? Alcohol is strictly forbidden, and yet in the space of maybe a minute, she's managed to acquire some and smuggle it in. But Ari only smiles lightly, holding both bottles in my direction. Drink. She looks so proud of herself, I can't find it in me to refuse. But alcohol? What am I supposed to do with this? Can you, return it? You wanted to drink your sorrows away. Well, no, I wanted to get drunk. Ah. She suddenly sprints away towards the edge of the roof. Alarmed, I follow after her and watch in shock as she manages to nimbly jump on the branches of the tallest tree. Dang, girl! I can only assume she manages to shimmy down the tree onto the ground, because her small frame is immediately lost in the foliage. Too alarmed to speak, I mindlessly walk back to where I sat before. I stare at the alcohol that is now in my possession. Wait, I have alcohol. I could get expelled. I could go to prison. I could... Here. Yeah! She keeps scaring Yama. Where did she even come from? Didn't I just see her in that tree? Take this. She pushes a can of Starmon energy drink into my already full arms. If you mix this with the alcohol, you will become intoxicated much quicker. What? But you will feel alert, so you will want to drink more. Do not. I should have guessed that Ari would take my words at face value, but how does she even know all of this? Wait. I don't actually want to get drunk. It was a joke. Joke? First of all, I'm not stupid enough to get drunk, especially given that my brain is only half functional as is. Besides, it's illegal at my age. Not that Ari seems to care. Okay, first things first. How do I get this alcohol out of school without anyone noticing? I guess I could just ask Ari, but that doesn't seem very fair to her, since I was the one who made her get it in the first place. Unintentionally, of course. How did she get it here? I know she can climb trees with ease. Maybe she also went through the ventilation or sewer systems, but that's ridiculous, isn't it? Either way, the key lies in her hands. Ari, how did... Bang! I watch in horror as the cork shoots out of the vodka bottle, sails over the railing, and plummets to the ground below. Ow! What the hell? Oh. Well, crap. Is this a cork? I gingerly peer over the railing. A student is clutching the vodka cork, squinting upwards. I hurriedly lean back before he can see me. Fantastic, and I thought this day couldn't get any better. Hey, Teach, this cork just came from the rooftop. What a little snitch! What the hell? Oh, this smell! Is there a party on that rooftop? Not an official one. I wince as the teacher storms into the classroom building. She'll be here any moment. Frantically, I turn to Ari, who is experimentally tasting the vodka. Ari, we need to get rid of this. Now! Ari clearly registers the urgency in my voice. She promptly sets the vodka down and stares right at me. Throw it away? What? No, just put it back, wherever you got it from. Oh. She quickly hands the alcohol to me. I wasn't trying to steal it from you. What? Why are you? No, put it back where... Slam! The teacher stomps to the rooftop as if she's searching for someone to kill. Jolted with panic, I make a vague shooing motion in Aries' direction before I leap out of cover into plain sight. Professor? Crap, my voice cracked. Come on, where are those make-believe skills? You! The teacher barrels in my direction, her eyes flaring. Did you see any other students on the roof? No. So you admit that this cork came from you? She raises the cork with shaking hands. Dang it, I should have made something up. I should have said that they were students, but they ran away. What's that? It's the only half-intelligent thing that comes out of my mouth. Don't play dumb with me, young man. Where are you hiding it? What? Come to think of it, why are you standing in front of this bush? Bush? What bush? She steps to her right. I follow to block her view. She weaves to the left. I mimic it. Okay, that was definitely suspicious. So it's behind you, isn't it? What's behind me? You're digging your own grave, young man. Move aside. This is it. This is what all my years of suffering through school have turned into. This is the culmination of my sucky week. It should be stupid. It should be trivial. Getting expelled from school? What does that matter in the face of 5 deaths? Or losing my friends? But what if I turn homeless? What if I enter the spiraling abyss of debt, and I have to join the Yakuza, and I contract tetanus during a job gone wrong? I suppose you're Claire. She steps back from the bush. Surprisingly, it's empty. There are no sign of Ari, nor the alcohol. Did she finally understand what I meant? Or is she just taking it to a more terrifying purpose? Okay. The teacher suddenly whips to me, her eyes narrowed. Well, I apologize for suspecting you without any basis. She sounds about as apologetic as a toddler in a tantrum. If you happen to find those irresponsible students who are in the possession of alcohol, give them a little message for me. They can run, but they can't hide. Then, just as abruptly as she entered, the teacher races from the rooftop, slamming the door behind her. I only sink to the ground, relishing the relief that washes through my veins. I live another day. What a ridiculous encounter. Yama. Yeah! Again, Ari appears, as if from nowhere. This time the alcohol is nowhere to be seen. I understood. I put them back. She's practically bursting with pride. Well, for Ari, hesitantly, I pat her on the head. Thanks. She only nods placidly and continues to munch on her peach. Just curious, but where did you get that stuff anyway? The vodka and sake. Cafeteria kitchens. Oh, I see. Wait a minute. What? You stole it from the cafeteria? They weren't using it. Well, it's still the schools. It's illegal for minors to drink, and it's still illegal to steal. So it must be doubly illegal for minors to drink alcohol that's been stolen. Who would ever think of taking the kitchen stock? The idea is either genius, insane, or both. Come to think of it, how does Ari get her peaches? I swear that her stash is indistinguishable. Every time I see her, she has a new peach. It couldn't be. Ari, by any chance? No way. This is ridiculous. All of this is ridiculous. Joking about alcohol and almost getting expelled for it. Peaches, endless peaches coming from nowhere. Mirth bubbles out of me in a wry laughter. Ridiculous. Brain damage, memory lapses, bus accident, mutilated bodies, double-faced informants. Hurting Rue, hurting Masato, Mr. Iota and Yaiko and Ari as serial killers. My chuckles transform into an all-out hysterical fit. I struggle to keep breathing as my ribs ache beneath the instinctual heave of my lungs. It's crazy. All of it. What is funny? My throat aches as I struggle to master myself. Life. Life is hilarious. Ari inclines her head, quietly waiting. It's invitation enough. Ever had that feeling where you feel like you know everything, but it just takes one moment and your whole world crumbles into pieces? Like Larouge Lamparade? Larouge Lamparade. Always Larouge Lamparade. I'm being likened to a fictional character from a show. Sure, Larouge Lamparade. He's a pretty cool guy, right? He kills people. Oh, that's a bit of a damper. I lace my fingers behind my head, staring into a nearby flower until my eyes begin to burn. I'm probably not any better. Rue and I got into an argument yesterday, and I was an idiot. I don't know what came over me. The kinds of things I was saying, I'd never thought them, not genuinely. We haven't fought like that, well, ever. Is that what death does? Makes you a completely different person? She seemed fine, normal. I thought she'd be okay, since she didn't see it. Ari considers this for a moment before she speaks. Every word is enunciated deliberately. Perhaps she had problems she did not want to worry you with. My parents were the same. Your parents? They died. Oh. I feel the urge to say that I'm sorry, but it sounds shallow in the gravity of the moment. I see. Ari only nibbles at her peach. How? I don't realize how insensitive that question is until it's already out of my mouth. Thankfully, before Ari can respond, the warning bell pings. I hurriedly get to my feet. Oh, guess we have to head back to class. Ari silently stands next to me. They fought. Every word seems labored, like it's painful to utter them. They fought? How does that explain how they passed away? There's a strong part of me that wants her to continue, part of me that's curious about this enigma known as Ari Hidaga. But I can't bring myself to do it. There's enough craziness going on. Finding out about Ari's past might just make things worse. Hey, you don't have to tell me. It's fine. I move to the rooftop door, keen on exiting before I cause any more trouble. It's better this way. My curiosity just leads to hurting people anyway. Ari silently follows me, staring at the peach cupped in her hands. We part at the stairway. I'm not sure what to say, but at the very least, she doesn't seem angry at me, just thoughtful. I expect to spend the remainder of my time by myself, but instead, I find Mizaki waiting by my chair. Ah, Yama. Hi. Do you want to go somewhere with me? What? Now? No, tomorrow. Of course right now. Class is about to start. Are you seriously coming up with an excuse to stay in school? She's right. Normally, I wouldn't mind. So, you're saying we should ditch? I prefer the phrase, investing our time in other endeavors. So, ditching. You make it sound so ugly. As sudden as this may be, it might actually end up being kind of fun. Sure, let's do it. Why not? Why not? It's not like I'd be doing anything productive in school. Where were you thinking? She smiles brightly, gesturing to the door with both hands. You'll see. I obligingly exit the classroom right as the bell sounds. As we make our way down the street, newfound excitement takes the place of anxiety. It's definitely a welcome change. Oh, we're gonna go have some food and stuff. Surprisingly, she leads me to GFC. After we order and pick up our chicken, we slip into the nearest booth. I found this place the other day. Their wings are really good. I know, I come here a lot actually. Really? Well, not recently because of the investigation, the lapses, the serial killings, Rue, Masato, Yaiko. Now that I think about it, when was the last time we all ate here together? Has it been really that long? Or is my memory just that unreliable? Somehow, Mizaki manages to catch the change in my face. She quickly leans forward, her attention fixed on me. Something's bothering you. I'm assuming it has to do with your fight with Rue? Wait, how do you know about that? Because she told me. Well, more like I forced it out of her. Her exasperation is quickly replaced with concern. So, you're still having your lapses. She told you about that, huh? And about Mizu, and that you almost drowned. So, what? Are you going to lecture me about that too? My response comes out harsher than I intend. Instead of getting angry, Mizaki only raises his eyebrow in bewilderment. You jumped into that river to save someone. Why would I lecture you? Because I didn't save him, Miki. Because I couldn't even save myself. I just ended up being useless. Again. Oh! God dang it, Mizaki! What the hell? You're such a damn dumber. She suddenly shouts something incomprehensible, slamming her fist on the countertop. Everyone in the restaurant immediately stops to look at us. Do you know what I hate most about you, Yama? The fact that you always bring yourself down. Yes, you could have died, but you tried anyway, right? You could have ignored him. You could have let that boy drown, and no one would have thought less of you because of your condition. It's not always about succeeding. It's about having faith in yourself. Her fingers curl on the edge of the table, an odd heaviness to her tone. Even with your condition, you're a lot more capable than you think, Yama. So please, don't ever say that you're useless again. In response to her words, I can only remain in stunned silence. Is she actually commending me, even though I had almost died, even though I hadn't accomplished anything? But to be completely honest, I almost feel a little touched. Finally realizing that her outburst had attacked the attention of nearby customers, Mizaki's face blushes a bright red, and she sinks back into her seat. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have yelled at you like that. The pain in her voice is almost palpable, as if she had just slapped me across the face. Oh, it's fine. We should probably finish eating. Yeah. We redirect our attention back to our food. For the next few minutes, we eat in awkward silence. I'm about to say something to break the tension until I notice Mizaki reaching for GFC's signature hot sauce. Miki? But before I can warn her, she's already downing the wings like there's no tomorrow. Isn't that spicy? The ketchup? That isn't ketchup, it's hot sauce. Oh, so it is. She merely shrugs her shoulders and continues eating, seemingly unaffected. You know, not even Masato could handle that. Masato must be a wimp then. She says this teasingly, elicting a chuckle from me. I'm pretty sure she's probably the only person who can beat Masato in an eating contest. I kind of want to see that, actually. By the way, have you seen that pat I sent you? You sent me a pat? Have you been using patter recently? To be honest, no. She sighs, motioning me to hand over my phone. I obligingly do so. Apparently, our kimono commercial has generated a lot of buzz. I was reading some of the comments, and you seem to have quite a few fangirls. What? Fangirls. Female fans. Admirers. Why would I have admirers? Don't be so modest, Yama. I mean, you are attractive. I remember you saying something similar to Yaiko the other day. Oh, don't worry. I think you're much cuter than he is. Ooh, okay, Mizaki. Why would she think I was worried? How can she say that so blatantly? How did we even get on this topic anyway? Here, I'll read some of these comments to you. I'd rather not. He's so cute. I wonder if he has a girlfriend. I've never seen this actor before, but I like a lot. The acting was so good. Are they really a couple? This guy makes me question my sexual preference. I'm a dude, by the way. Have you ever? I think that should be enough. Feeling my face flush, I quickly lean over the table and snatch my phone out of her hands. She only grins at me in amusement. Don't tell me you're embarrassed. Of course not. Then why is your face red? I just don't have your tolerance for spicy food. She giggles at this, absorbing herself in her own phone. You should seriously consider becoming an actor, Yama. It's not like I did that well. You did well enough considering the circumstances. I can't help but feel a tinge of pleasure at her praise. If not an actor, then what? I'll probably just manage my parents' restaurant. She pauses, raising a questioning eyebrow at me. Here it comes. The managing your parents' restaurant isn't a real job remark. I didn't know you could cook. That's what she was surprised about? I'm decent, I guess. Can I be your first customer? Sure. You'll let me eat for free too, right? What? No way. Why not? Because you'll put me out of business. Put you out of business? I point to her empty plate. She seems to make the connection. Are you implying that I eat too much? I'm just saying you'd have to pay the full price, otherwise I wouldn't profit. You definitely wouldn't be able to profit if your arms were broken. Well, that escalated quickly. I'd like to have all of my bones intact, thank you. Well, you shouldn't call a girl. A sudden shrill emanates from her cell phone, cutting her off mid-sentence. Hello? Oh, yes, I'm so sorry, sir. I'll be there right away. She quickly cuts the call, clearing her food from the counter. What's the rush? I'm late for my meeting. You have a meeting? Yes, with my manager, after school. Quick, finish your food so I can leave. She suddenly grabs a wing and tries to shove it in my mouth. What are you doing? Why don't you just go? I hear it's bad luck to leave a restaurant by yourself if you're with someone. Where did you hear that from? The internet, of course. I shouldn't be surprised at this point. Come on. I'll just bring my food with me. After fetching a food container for my wings, Mizaki drags me out of GFC. We stride into the warm spring-tinted air. Mizaki turns to me, pasting on a smile. Thanks for ditching school with me, Yama. No problem. Maybe we can do this again sometime. You're planning on becoming a delinquent now? I mean, eating at GFC. I miss enough classes as it is. In that case, sure, I'd like that. Until then, later. With that, Mizaki waves inanimately, hurrying off to work. It was nice, honestly. Spending time with her actually made me relax. I'm ready to head back to my apartment, but a sudden ping brings my attention to my phone. Akira. Sup, General. Heard from a little bird and a turd that you were feeling a bit under weather. Want to swing by the drama club? It's a party. Figuratively speaking, of course. Drama club? Now? Well, I guess, technically, I have nothing better to do. Yeah, let's go to drama club. It's not a bad idea. Some make-believe might just be what I need, especially with Akira, if that display on the rooftop is anything to go by. What classroom? 2C. Be there or be a cupcake. Because, you know, a square is just so yesterday. And cupcakes are delicious. I roll my eyes, but I'm smirking as I enter the classroom. Yeah, this should make my day considerably less crappy. I always feel like in this game, like, I try to do, like, all the routes where it's like you're talking to your friends, we're going and hanging out with people, but then like when the bad stuff happens, it like just overweighs the good, and it's like, man, I try so hard to like make this playthrough be like good and positive and good vibes, but it's like the darkness in this game just overwhelms it. 2C is just as generic as 3B. In fact, the only difference with my classroom is that it's currently filled with a scattered group of students. The number seems to be fewer than when I was last here. Good day, General. Akira pops from beneath the desk, face shining in a cheery grin. What are you doing under there, girl? Glad you decided to join us. I end up smiling back. So, what's going on today? Oh, just improv exercises, having some fun and all that jazz. Our impromptu performance the other day was about as successful as a Puritan party, so we're taking today to relax and gather our morale. So, it didn't go well? I can say that with 100% confidence that it was absolutely terrible. And that's why the room is so empty? I see that nothing escapes your eye, Mr. Holmes. Yes, many of our own number have deserted us. We are left stranded in the desert, wretched, alone. Oh, whoa! Despite the dramaticism of her tone, I notice that she seems to be happier. You like that there's less people, don't you? Well, that sounds so unpleasant. Rather, a small and more intimate group provides for better screen time coverage in the case that our lives are made into a show. A show? What? Think about it. Stories with large, ensemble casts often purely focus on external conflict, while smaller casts allow room for individual character development and realization. That's how a lot of TV shows work, And that's why the smaller casts are worse for you if you break a bone. Just when I thought I was beginning to understand her, something like this happens. I see. Of course you do. You have 2 functioning eyes. Before I can respond to this absurdly literal statement, the club president claps her hands, gathering the attention in the room. Okay guys, I don't think anyone else is coming. Let's get started. The group shuffles into a circle. The president's eyes land on me. Her eyes widen noticeably. Oh, Yama Ishimoto. Great to have you here. You remember me? Why, of course, Akira. Akira frantically makes some kind of vague gesture with her hands. The president coughs. Akira brought you here. Foreign spy, right? It wasn't that long ago. I notice their unusual actions, but decide to ignore it. Right. Well, you're in luck. Today, I've got some great exercises planned. You guys ready? The group, though small, lets out a hearty roar. The president slides a hat toward the middle of the room. Inside it lies a tangled mass of paper. Okay, let's do some warm-up improv. Akira, do you mind? It'd be a pleasure, Prez. She eagerly shuffles forward and snatches a random slip. Her eyes drift over the words. My character is a lawyer. Good. Tatsuya, why don't you match her? Sure thing, Prez. He also extracts the slip and snorts in disbelief. A dragon with an attachment complex to his captive princess. Great, you guys know the drill. 3 minutes. Ready? Akira straightens, adjusting her jacket. Her partner leaps on the desk and curls lithely, as if he's actually a dragon. Go! Akira strides forward, whipping her finger to her partner. Hold it! Mr. Dragon, are you not aware of the severe consequences associated with kidnapping? It's a serious felony offense. Your lightest sentence will be the equivalent of 20 human years or more if you do not cooperate at once. No! You can't take her from me! She's mine, my precious. Akira slaps her hand convincingly on the table. Your Honor, the defendant... We're not in a court of law, little lawyer. Go away before I fry you to a crisp. Take that! I thought that dragons were supposed to be creatures of honor. Must I challenge you to a duel? Her partner gives a long, dreary sigh, as if genuinely disturbed by Akira's incessant presence. Fine. You want to know, little lawyer, why I refuse to forfeit my precious? This is Lord of the Rings? Enlighten me. Simply this, little lawyer. You are playing by the code of humans. I am playing by the code of dragons. Shall I tell you what the code of dragons states? That a dragon can kidnap any poor innocent soul, whether they so please? No, in fact, little lawyer, it is prohibited for a dragon to withhold a precious maiden for more than 24 hours against her will, barring the major extenuating circumstance, which is if the place to which she must return is worse than in our possession. The room gasps slightly. Even Akira's confidence falters. What? My dear, dear, precious little lawyer was cruelly abused in her own castle. It is safer for her here than anywhere else. But that can't be. A brief silence falls on the group, punctuated by the shrill tone of an alarm. The club president hastily waves her phone as the room breaks into applause. Time up. Great job, Akira, Tatsuya. That was really creative. That plot twist was a brilliant comeback, Tatsuya. It was so fun to watch. When Akira sits next to me, I lean closer to her. So, this is just an improv where anything goes? Actually, it's more like a battle of wits. As the improv continues, a scenario is created where each person clearly takes one side. While staying in character, they must figure out how to win the battle of wits before time is up. That doesn't seem very even. Oh no, I'm just no good at it. You see, I should have said the princess was actually Spartan. Therefore, what the dragons perceive as abuse, society perceives as normal. That kind of improv concept is very interesting. I've never thought of something like that before. Okay, next. Yama, wanna give it a try? Sure. I pluck a slip of paper from the hat. Ha, just my luck. A delinquent boy. Would you get general? An honorable samurai? A terrific knight? Sorry to disappoint, but... Hi guys, I'm so sorry for being late. Suddenly, the door flies open and Rue comes rocketing into the room, dumping her backpack on the ground. My mind runs completely blank. Rue, she's part of the drama club. I'd completely forgotten. Oops, was I not supposed to go to the drama club? I don't want them, getting into another fight in front of everybody. Oh, perfect timing, Rue. Why don't you play opposite of Yama? We're doing battle improv. Rue's eyes land on mine, surprise etched clearly over her features. Guilt churns in my stomach as she shuffles away, her smile adopting a clearly awkward tint. I probably... Come on, the hat's waiting. I think I forgot something. She inches through the doorway. I wrap my fingers into my pockets, trying to stem the stifled air out of my lungs. Rue halts in her steps, staring pleadingly at Akira. Why don't you be Yama's partner? Horror spreads across Rue's face. Fierce indignation rears in my stomach. I bite my tongue to keep my words back. Why, of all the days for her to interfere, why today? Does she know what happened between Rue and me? Is this her way of exacting revenge since she got into a fight with Rue? I have to go, Akira. What? Rue? Rue quickly scoops up her backpack and bolts from the room. Akira's face falls. Well, it was worth a shot. What's gotten her so antsy? An uncomfortable silence descends upon the room. It's more than I can bear. I hurriedly grab my backpack, my mind still clouded with anger. Sorry, I have to go too. Thanks for the performance, though. Wait, you too? Already? General, why? Goodbye, Akira. I'm barely able to keep the snap out of my voice as I rush out of the classroom. I stop only when I break into fresh air. My thoughts, now broken from their mold, are racing uncontrollably in my head. Rue, train, Shoji's death, seeing Rue, yelling at Rue, hurting Rue. I even forgot that she was in the drama club. General, hold up! Akira sprints to me, face wrought with worry. Why'd you leave all of a sudden? I clench my jaw, working to keep my words civil. Akira, I need you to be honest with me. Okay. Did you also ask Rue to come to drama club today? She usually comes, but I wanted to make sure. That's answer enough. Why did you want to make sure? Because you wanted us to meet? Well, yes. Akira, please. I've told you this before, but you need to stop meddling. Look, Rue and I fought yesterday. What happened in that classroom? Well, I think you might have made the scenario a whole lot worse. General, I know that you and Rue fought. What? My anger blossoms in my stomach. Then why did you plan this? Did you intentionally try to make us miserable? Is this because you and Rue are on bad terms? No, Rue and I made up a long time ago. Well, actually, it was just yesterday. But still, this appeases me slightly. I try to withhold my accusations. Then why? You need to make up with Rue, General. I wasn't there, so I don't know who was in the wrong and who was right, but it's always best to apologize first. The words are unusually straight and simple, especially coming from her. Still, I don't appreciate how she's meddling, yet again. Here's the thing, I don't even know if we will make up. We might just not talk to each other again, move on with our lives. That's exactly what can't happen, General. Don't you see? You move on, you leave loose ends, and you end up with regrets that fester inside you like mozzarella cheese in an Indian summer. Even if it's painful, you need to make up. Because by the time you're ready, it's too late. She sinks into the bench. For the first time, I realize that her chipper demeanor bellies an exhausted face. Too late. She spends a moment in pensive silence before she speaks. I can sense a story behind her heavy words. General, you know Shoji, the unfortunate soul who recently died? I do. More than I wish I did. He was in my class. I take a moment to swallow this fact. Shoji had to be part of a class, of course. I just hadn't thought of such an association. I saw him, General. I knew Akane. I knew their relationship. I know that she disappeared and he was taking it hard. I saw all the signs, every single one. He joked about suicide. He wouldn't talk with anyone except his closest friend, Haru. But Haru was in a different class. He wouldn't eat, wouldn't sleep. He even was giving his stuff away, and he was saying goodbye to everyone. I can kind of relate in this situation. I've experienced friends dying in my life and stuff like that. I mean, not like someone I was like romantically connected to, but I mean, suicide, people talking about suicide is a very, touchy subject, and it's very serious. And, if you know anyone that needs help, make sure you help them out and have a hotline to call or something like that, or just be there for them. All it takes is for one person to make a change, so it's morbidly fascinating. Even while I can sense the heavy sense of guilt in Akira's words, I find the back of my mind cataloging that Shoji was planning to die. That incident at the train was suicide? I quickly catch myself. Now's not the time to think about this. I need to understand Akira. The weight associated with her guilt is not something that she should bear in the first place. He was a textbook example of a suicide thinker, General, and I just ignored him. Too awkward to talk to him, too weird to approach him normally. I did nothing. Rue talked with him. She did what I should have. She did. When did she? No. I shouldn't be surprised. That's something Rue would do. Rue with her big, soft heart. The heart that I brutally crushed. Akira, that just shows that his death isn't your fault. If Shoji died regardless of what she said. No, General, I could have done something. If I had just talked to him, if I had just smiled once, just waved once, just let him know that he mattered. He died, General. He died, and it was too late. I'd always thought that Akira's bubbly exterior would allow all the troubles of the world to bounce right off her skin, but she's taking Shoji's death harder than anyone I've seen. The pain in her voice is nearly palpable. General, that's what can't happen with Rue. Life is too short. You don't know what the next day will bring. You could get run over by a car, or Rue could get run over by a car, or a nuclear bomb will hit Izumu and wipe out the entire population. It might sound stupid, but you have to make up now before you have any regrets. She laces her fingers together and stares at them. So please, talk with Rue, General. Don't let the skirmish turn into a 7-year war. It's clear and open and everything not Akira, but everything Akira, all at once. I know I should be empathizing with her pain, but all I can think is that I'm impressed. There's much more to her, a deep heart that I never knew was there. I'll try to make up. I try to smile reassuringly. She returns it, her shoulders relaxing. Well, if you need some aid, you can always call for backup. I have a particularly dangerous concoction known as the matchmaking plan. All it requires is a nearby movie theater, a bouquet of roses. This isn't for a date. Well, who's to say that it can't be? I snort at this, but it comes out a little more affectionate than I was expecting. Let's stick with the simple apology. Well, General, even if you want to be boring, I do want to give you any help I can offer. Thanks for the thought, but it's something I should do myself. It's between me and Rue, so I'll take responsibility for it, not you. Akira freezes at this statement. Did I hurt her feelings? I appreciate the offer, though. She only averts her gaze and shuffles away. It concerns me. Akira? Huh? What's wrong? Nothing. I just, That's really cool of you, General. It's very admirable. Admirable? That I take responsibility for my own crap? Well, I don't know. Is it time for me to get going? It must be. They all must be wondering where I am. See you, General. Thanks for stopping by. And please, make up with Rue soon. Bye! And just as suddenly as she appeared, Akira bolts away. Her words are strange, her analogies are unthinkable, and half the time, I'm not sure if we're speaking the same language, but today, I felt closer with her than most of my longtime friends. Amazingly enough, I think that we're actually starting to reach some semblance of understanding. I head back to my apartment, pondering the encounter in my mind. It's still light out by the time I return. The day stretches ahead of me, full of possibilities that don't actually exist. I could study, if there was any point in doing so. I could hang out with my friends, if I hadn't already screwed them over somehow. I should just talk to them, honestly, and apologize. At the very least, hear their side of the story, try to understand what exactly is going on in their minds. And yet, I don't. Even I'm not completely sure why. The only clue lies in this nagging thought in the back of my mind. Maybe it's better that they don't know you. Maybe it's better if they didn't have to blow off classes in order to find vague clues for an even vaguer case. Maybe it's better if they weren't forced to deal with some depressed kid who never got over his sister's death. Maybe their lives would be easier. If that's the case, the only thing I can do for anyone, really, is to solve this case. Solve this case, and stay out of the way. The key lies in my laps. Everything could change depending on what I saw last night. You're a coward. We'll see about that. I need to know why that exchange took place, and what it meant. I break out of my train of thought, pondering my next course of action. If the doctors can be trusted, all I need is a strong trigger, something that can give my brain a nice kick. Like a bloodied corpse. Right. Easy. I raise my phone, hand shaking. Nausea churns in my stomach as I bring up my browser search engine, switching the mode to images. I can do this. For Rue, for Mazuto, Yaiko, Mr. Iota, Shigure, for all the people who've died. For Mizu. I tap the screen with finality. Gruesome scenery floods my pupils, pulsing into my brain like black oil. It wraps around me, strangling my breath out of my lungs, laughing softly in my ears. Too late. I struggle against it, but the empty eyes, the wash of organs and veins, it sends my head reeling. I vaguely feel myself turn over, retching. A lapse pushes at me, but I push back, reaching into the furthest depths of my mind. Remember, remember, remember. You can do it. A clear high voice pierces through the haziness of my mind. What? I know you can do it. I'm dumped into the yard of some primary school where there's grass and trees and no towering monoliths of skyscrapers. It's most definitely a suburb. I'm sitting on a swing, and a tiny girl with legs that don't even reach the ground is on the swing next to me. She's a brave one. With every extension of her legs, she pushes higher and higher until she is almost horizontal with the bars. Then I realize that I'm also tiny and my own legs don't reach the ground. This day. I remember it well. I remember it to the point of painstaking detail. I remember how the sun felt on my face, how the flowers sang in the wind, how the delighted shrieks of children were a soundtrack that played endlessly in the background. I remember despising it all, because no one should have been happy. Not when I had to move. Not when adults kept saying things I didn't understand. Not when Mizu was gone. So, when they come, just tell them, okay? The girl's cheery voice broke me out of my thoughts. I was barely swaying back and forth on the swing, a comical juxtaposition to her vivid enthusiasm. Okay. It was not okay. I was not okay, and I would not just tell them. But as a child, I had very quickly learned that saying okay was the easiest thing to do. Saying okay made people happy. Saying okay made people leave you alone. But this girl was an exception. As she swung down, she suddenly ground her heels into the bark mulch beneath her feet. Wood chips sprayed at me. I promptly left to my feet, yelping in indignation. Hey! The girl jumped from her swing, landing in front of me. When she stood up, her hair seemed to glow like fire in the sunlight. Promise? I flicked bits of bark off my elementary school uniform, nodding dully. Okay. Pinky promise? She stuck out a hand. I shoved mine in my pockets. Okay. You aren't pinky promising. Crossed my heart. Hope to die? I didn't speak because I suddenly felt funny. The girl's eyes widened. Oh, maybe you shouldn't hope to die. Your sister's already dead. She said this solemnly, and as a 7-year-old, I had absolutely no concept of political correctness, so I only shrugged. Yeah. It's okay. There's lots of trampolines in heaven. Trampolines and flowers. Okay. And the girl, though with saying her piece, leapt back onto her swing and continued her crazy quest to the top. I only made shapes in the bark mulch with the tip of my shoe. Suddenly, the girl hunched her knees to her chest and pointed frantically in the distance. Hey, they're coming! Hey! I shrank against the swing. I didn't need to look where she was pointing. I already knew what lay in that direction. Come on, Yama, get up! No! You promised! No, I didn't! Yes, you did! You just promised! No, Hey, you poop head! I stiffened and glanced meekly at the newcomers, 4 older children, bigger in every dimension, with glittering eyes and smiles that were far too cheery for this time of day, or any time of day for that matter. "You're stupid, poophead." "Yeah? Why don't you play like us?" He doesn't even talk with anyone. Just stares at us with those freaky freak eyes. Like his freaky freak name. Yama, what a stupid poophead name. He's a mountain. What? The crazy girl slammed her shoes into the ground again, spraying mulch at them. They didn't even flinch. Instead, they grinned widely. "Ooh, he's with a girl. Having fun with your little girlfriend, freaky freak?" "Ooh." I only hunched my shoulders. I'm just laughing because of like me trying to do like the noises for the reading, just making me laugh. But I'm not laughing at the situation. I think that's pretty messed up. I only hunched my shoulders and took the abuse. The girl, on the other hand, curled her fingers into fists, crouching aggressively. "He's not my boyfriend. We don't kiss yet." Yama and Rue, sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G. I bet he got cooties from her. "I don't have cooties." "Ew, don't get too close, guys. You might get some." "Run away." As the girl, Rue, lunged for them, the 4 split and ran circles around her, laughing raucously. "Hey guys, I came up with a song. Yama Yama needs his mama. Freaky freak, just like a llama." "Yeah? What's a llama?" "Doesn't matter. Yama Yama needs his mama. Freaky freak, just like a llama. Needs a girl to fight. 'Cause he, has no might. They slapped their hands together, laughing cruelly as I fought to keep the sting out of my eyes and throat. "Okay." I said this placidly. Saying okay would make them happy. Saying okay would make them leave me alone. Whoa! God damn it, why did the punches always freak me out in this game? But just as they were about to lose interest... Oh, it was Rue. Rue socked one of them straight in the face with her fist, rage twisting her cherubic features. Her target collapsed to the ground, sniveling, but the rest only laughed. "You hit like a girl. Is that the best you can do? Freaky freak and his freaky girlfriend. I'm not his girlfriend. What on earth is going on here?" A teacher jogged over to the scene, followed by a crowd of twittering students. Rue's eyes lit up, thinking that help was coming. I only continued to stare at my shoes. I knew what would happen. "Teacher, these 4 bullies are..." "Teacher, Yama hit me." "Look at him, teacher. I think he's going to die." "Yama's not being nice. You said we should be nice, right?" At the flip of the switch, the bullies had transformed into a pile of sniveling, clueless victims to the odious freaky freak. The teacher examined the scene before her, pursing her lips. The crowd awaited her judgment. Even at 7 years old, I already knew what it would be. "Yama, I understand all the bad feelings you must be dealing with, but you can't just hit people, okay?" Infuriated, Rue jumped in front of me, yelling at the top of her lungs. "They're lying, teacher! I hit him!" The teacher smiled tenderly at her. "Rue, I know that you're very nice and you want to protect Yama, but he needs to take responsibility for his own mistakes." "Yama, come with me. We need to go see the principal." "Okay." I suddenly got to my feet and passed through the crowd to her side, still staring at my shoes. I could hear the bully snickering in the background. But Rue grabbed at my sleeve, whispering softly but intensely. "You know what? I'm gonna ask Mommy and Daddy. I'm gonna ask them how to get back at those poop heads. They'll be sorry. Just you wait." She released me. The teacher led me away, a proper criminal, to the execution block. I tried to forget the encounter, to strangle the hope that was rapidly rising in me. Sooner or later, she would get tired of me. Sooner or later, she would decide to leave. Sooner or later, she would just be another face in the crowd calling me Freaky Freak. She never did. She moved cities and started attending the academy. I followed her out, all the while expecting that one day she'd realize that she didn't want to be with a freak and she could have any friend she wanted. And on that day, I would have moved to Izumu for nothing. But that day never came. I wake blearily to a hammering dull sound, almost like someone pounding at my door. "Open up, Yami Ishimoto. I know you're in there. Come and get the door, you bloody prat." Oh, it's Elizabeth. I'm like, ah. I allow myself a moment to take in my surroundings. Looks like it's already nighttime. How long have I been out? Don't make me break this down. Every attack on the door drives further into my headache, making me wince. What is Elizabeth even doing at my apartment at this hour? Just quiet down for a second, okay? The pounding stops. Finally. Turning on the lamp, I glance around. At some point, I'd thrown my jacket on the ground. Thankfully, there's no vomit or other body discharge to be seen or smelled. Ugh. Did I fall unconscious? Did nothing else happen? I'm waiting. 5 minutes, Your Majesty. I struggle to my feet and head to the door. A sudden dizzy spell knocks me over. I barely catch myself on the kitchen counter in time, but as a result, my hand slips on a cup, sending it crashing to the ground. I wince as the harsh sound scrapes against my eardrums. Porcelain rockets to every corner of the room, skittering across the tile. Good God, what is going on in there? Dots spin in front of my vision as I struggle to the doorway. Something cuts into my foot. I roughly shake it out. Finally, I manage to open the door. Elizabeth Durglare promptly melts into shock. Yama? Happy? I stoop to pick up the porcelain, but my foot twinges with pain. Wincing, I crouch to the ground and examine my heel. Why are you bleeding? I point wordlessly to the shards of the cup. Elizabeth sighs, gingerly plucking them from the corners and dumping them into the trash. You seem to be getting into these scrapes quite often. Hey, it's not every day I break a cup. She ponders this silently. It's only then when I actually clock the time. What are you even doing here? No, actually, how did you even know where I live? She flicks the last of the shards into the trash can, then turns to me, hands on her hips. Is that really what matters right now? Look, first we need to take care of your foot. Where's your first aid kit? Alright, let's just tell her where it's at. I wordlessly point to the medical cabinet in the kitchen. Bottom shelf, next to the stove. She crisply strides to the cabinet, pulling a pipe of antibacterial ointment and a gauze wrap. Foot. I can bandage it myself. I can do it better. Are you seriously turning this into a competition? That wasn't what Just stick out your leg. I don't have the will to argue with her. I silently extend my foot. She wets a towel and dabs it against my heel. You're lucky that this is a shallow cut. There's not even any glass in it. Sure. She expertly slicks the ointment, then binds the injury with the wrap, as if she's done so 1,000 times. The fluidity of her emotions are almost hypnotizing. As she finishes, she suddenly speaks, her voice unusually soft. Why were you at the train station yesterday? I freeze at her words, withdrawing my foot and taking a step back. Train station? Did she see me with Rue? Is this about Shoji's death? Yeah, how did she know we were at the train station? And how'd she know where we lived, too? I decide to stick with a cautious answer. Rue was planning on commuting from home, so she had to take her stuff to the train station. That's not what I meant, Yama, and you know it. Why were you at the scene where an academy student died? My mouth runs dry. I work to speak past the ache in my throat. What? Shoji Hazigaya. He died at that train station, and you were there. How did you know that? Would you just tell me, why were you there at that exact moment? The pressure from her words bears down on me heavily. I make my way over to the couch and take a seat. Were you there too? Yama, just answer. How did you know? Why are you always so insufferable? I might not be your best friend, but don't you trust me? Just one whit? My exhaustion, my nausea, my dizziness, it culminates into a lump of long-ridden resentment. Insufferable? I'm the one who was insufferable? I was just a normal student in a normal class. I didn't cause trouble. I didn't bother anyone. Who bothered whom first? Who insulted whom first? Who was the person who pretended to be my friend? I wasn't pretending. I was trying to help you. Oh yeah, you were an angel, nagging and criticizing and micromanaging me. You should have just done my homework for me. Let me ask you, did I ever ask for your help? Did I ever ask for you to tell me that I was trash at everything? Look, I'll admit that I made some mistakes, but I was trying to help you. Well, I thought so too, until that project. Don't tell me that I'm insufferable. You're the one who started it. Elizabeth bristles visibly and grabs my shoulders. Her breath is hot against my face. A current of lavender and vanilla brushes against my cheek. What did you expect? Did you think I would baby you around? You dumped that project. You left me to do everything. You don't know how many all-nighters I had to pull just to get that bloody poster done in time. That poster isn't even what? Worth anything? It's worth a grade, Yama, and my grades are money. More than that, it was the CityLink project that was worth 50% of our grade. I blink in surprise at this fact. Honestly, I never checked the syllabus. The fact that one project would be worth so much is alien to me. Elizabeth quiets and releases my shoulders, sitting down on the opposite end of the couch and folding her hands in her lap. Aw, the scene is so pretty. Aw. To you, coming to this school is just pocket change. Not exactly. My parents aren't billionaires or anything. Maybe, but you can slack off and you'll come back another semester. You can scrape by at the bare minimum and stay assured that you'll remain a student. But I need to work for it, so that I'm not a burden on my father. He's already so busy with work, the house, and with me. Education is just out of the question. She seems to shrink inwardly, looking oddly defeated. I try to work past my shock and phrase my next question delicately. Your mom, doesn't send help? She's dead. Oh. Yeah, makes it a bit difficult. Just a little. She recovers and stares me in the eye. You already know that I'm a part-timer at the cafe, even while I keep up the illusion of being rich to others. But the absolute best thing I can contribute is maintaining an academic scholarship at the academy. My cynical side can't help but laugh. Scholarship? Who would work so hard to come to a school like the academy? But at the same time, if I'm fair, I know that it is one of the best high schools around. Shows you just how much quality of education has deteriorated since the Depression. To you, Yama, it may seem like I only cared about my grade. And yes, I was controlling, and I wanted to control every aspect of the project. But it wasn't just for a nice letter on a card, it was to keep my scholarship. If I had let things fly, I would have lost it. What? With you dropping the other end, the most I could have gotten in that course was 50 points. If that's worth half my grade, well, there goes the scholarship. I absorb this quietly. Truthfully, I don't even know how to respond. I didn't know. I'm aware of that now. My grades are my livelihood, so this is how I uphold myself about my peers, my extracurricular activities, my everything, really. A full scholarship to a school like this is nothing to sneeze at. But you're basically a slave to the school. Well, I won't deny it felt that way. A lot. But it doesn't matter, as long as I can win it back. She trails off, her eyes drifting to the distance. I nudge her. Win what? Oh, nothing. Yeah, that sure looks like nothing. Well, it's not important at the moment. What I want to know is why you were such an insufferable arse on that project. Loath as I am to admit it, you weren't completely awful until it started. Her subtle insults almost seem to be holding a teasing edge. It prompts me to reply honestly. Well, your nagging was irritating and your opinions were bad. But honestly, I didn't care that much until this one day where you mentioned my sister. Sister? She seems genuinely aghast at this nugget of information. You don't remember? I didn't even know you had a sister. Oh, interesting. At the time, I thought it was a deep insult. Oh, and your sister thought so too? Well, she's dead. Oh, bit hard. Just a bit. I'm sorry then, I didn't know. Was that why you dropped the project? Something like that. Well, it makes sense. A moment of silence falls between us as we work to process these revelations. Honestly, it feels pretty alien to share a civil conversation with Elizabeth. Up until just a week ago, we'd been at each other's throats on a nearly daily basis. This really is like Pride and Prejudice, isn't it? What? Well, I've gone so long misunderstanding you. Well, so have I. I guess both of us are, Mr. Darcy. And Elizabeth Bennet. I suppose everyone is, to some extent. You more than most, Miss Half-Englishwoman whose name is Elizabeth. And you as well, Mr. Take His Wealth for Granted. Before I can respond to this, she clears her throat. But this is getting off topic. Seriously, Emma, I need to know why you were at that train station. My guard instantly rises. Even though Elizabeth doesn't seem to have any bad intentions, just the mention of the trauma puts me on alert. Why do you need to know? Elizabeth rockets to her feet, her voice low as she glares down at me. Why? Because depending on your answer, you could be the primary suspect in the recent disappearances. A primary suspect? But how would she know? Why would I just... Do I need to spell it all out? Katsu Kobayashi, he's the policeman, the one who found you in the forest a few days back, right about the time they found a body in that same forest. A mutilated body of a student that matched the pattern of disappearances. Well, Katsu's in charge of Shoji Hasegawa's case at the train station, and what he does hear from his primary witness? That you were there. Of all bloody incompetent people, you somehow possess the intelligence and initiative to flawlessly kidnap and murder 4 to 6 people. I can't tell whether she's insulting me or fighting for my innocence, not that it matters when she knows so much. How do you... She throws her hands up in the air. Fine, my father is the bloody superintendent of the bloody Izumu Police Department, and Katsu is a family friend. Okay, well that makes sense, but still, like, how did she know where Yama lived? Like, that's the only thing that I'm kind of wondering about. I mean, I can understand, like, how she knows that we were at the train station now and why we're at the forest, but how did she know where I live? I mean, did she just ask her dad, like, hey, can you give me Yama's address? Now, will you tell me? I'm stricken speechless by this barrage of revelations. Elizabeth is the daughter of the police superintendent? Come to think of it, maybe she has superior knowledge of dressing wounds because her dad is the police superintendent. Pieces start falling into place. Elizabeth's atypical outlook on the killings, her systematic behavior during the school investigations, how she knew how to handle a gun, even just in laser tag. Oh, okay, I guess that all makes sense. Something makes sense about her. If you're wondering, no, my father doesn't blab about confidential information. I learned as part of an investigative process that involved Katsu interviewing me. What? I wasn't even thinking about that. Then why are you wasting time? Just tell me what you were doing at the station. Napping? I told you, I was just helping Rue move. Those are the words I want to say, but can't. What was I doing? At the train station, I might have just fainted, but when I'm sleeping, when I'm lapsing, I have no clue what I'm doing. Elizabeth's frown flattens into neutral curiosity. Yama? I don't know. It's impossible to tell what's going on. Everything happens so quickly. The deaths, being drafted as an assistant, then being fired, more deaths, fights, all over in the space of, 9 days since school started? You're just being ridiculous. You either did something or you didn't. Look, just say that you couldn't have had anything to do with Shoji's death. What if I did? Then say that you did. Is it really that hard? Hard to admit that you could be a serial killer without even knowing? Yeah, I'd say that's pretty hard. Then again, she just thinks that I'm joking. And what if I don't know? Her expression quiets as she seems to understand. You're not seriously entertaining this idea, are you? For God's sake, Yama, you, a murderer? That's a load of rubbish. You can't know that for sure. Oh, yes, I can. Look, it's bloody impossible. Clearly, you're not the actual killer, or you wouldn't be acting this way. Therefore, there's no reason that you would have done anything to do with these killings. Stars above, for a rational person, you sure do awful little thinking. Ironically enough, the bite in her tone is comforting. She sounds so confident, like I could never be guilty, like I would never be able to hurt someone. But she doesn't know about my lapses. She doesn't know that I could potentially be a completely different person. Look, you're many things, Yama, but a murderer is not one of them. You've got to believe that. If you don't, no one will. What if no one already does? Then you've got to show them. Show them who you are. Show them what you can do. They'll doubt you. They'll fight you. Maybe your friends will leave you. But you've got to fight back. I have no doubt that to any other person, her speech would be amazingly inspirational. To any other person, life changes would be made and worldviews would be altered. But fighting back, involving people, doing something, that's what I've been doing for this past week. Uncovering, investigating, taking initiative. And well, we saw how that turned out. Still, I have to admit that she stirs hope, even in someone like me. Her words make me want to leap up, to raise my fists, to fight back. I just don't know if it'll make things better or worse. Thanks, Elizabeth. She falters, her eyes widening. What? That's the first time you didn't call me Lizzie. Would you prefer that? Not particularly. It simply feels odd. Her eyes drift across mine, slowly, contemplatively. Well, done with your pity party? As close as I can get to done, I suppose, Miss Bennet. Fair enough, Mr. Darcy. After all, I know how you enjoy your parties. Ah, yes, you can tell by my acute desire to eat, drink, and dance the night away. Why, the night is scarcely young. Wait, it's midnight? She leaps away, pointing to my clock in clear horror. Oh, looks like it is. Good God, I have to get going. Now! She hurriedly shoves the medicine back into the cabinet and scrambles to the doorway. I instinctively grab her sleeve. Wait, what's the... Let go, now! She doesn't look like she's going, so I quickly release her. Something dawns on me. Oh, academy curfew? What? No, I have a permit because of my father's job. Does this curfew even exist, or does everyone just ignore it? Then what is it? Homework? Sleep schedule? No, nothing like that. Shouldn't it be obvious? A girl in a boy's home at a late hour? What, just that? It's nothing to worry about. I've had plenty of girls over. Rue is one of them. Heck, she even knows the key code to my door. But Elizabeth doesn't seem to take this as comforting. In fact, she turns white as a sheet. Plenty of girls? It's fine. People don't care around here. I care. Do you know what this could do to my reputation? She paces agitedly, wringing her hands. Her worry is stressing me. Look, like I said, it's not a big deal. Guys have girls over all the time, and girls have guys over all the time. She stops in her tracks and stares at me. Oh, as friends. Well, what else would they be doing? You're asking because you don't know? That is generally why people ask questions, yes. And according to you, girls come over and guys come over and they just study or play games or eat dinner or whatnot. That's exactly... Wait, what were you thinking? My God, I can't believe we're having this conversation. She covers her face and rearranges her jacket, quickly opening the door. I'm just going to go now. I'm left flabbergasted as she slams the door in my face. I can't even get in a word. Well, that was abrupt. I swear, I'll never know what's going on in that head of hers. Yeah! It probably doesn't mean anything to you, Yama. But I believe in you. Before I can make a move, she promptly shuts the door again. This time, I hear the rapid plink of her shoes against the apartment hallway as she strides out of the complex. She believes in me? Of all people, Elizabeth Oshiro believes in me? Well, that's just like the irony of life, I suppose, and I can't deny that it's reassuring in the most bizarre way. She's more confident than I am in my own innocence. It feels nice to have someone like that on your side, a fighter, a warrior, someone you know who will tell the truth to your face, even if you don't want them to. I can trust her, weirdly enough. The boost to my mood gets me into an investigative mood, but I manage to stave it off. For now, I need to go to bed and get some rest. If I'm going to tackle this crime, I need to do it on an alert mind and a lot of sleep. I'm tossed awake by the rattle of a jackhammer just outside my window. It's still dark out and my eyes are blurry. I rub at them and squint into the street. A handful of men, garbed in bright orange, are huddled around some crack in the middle of the road, surrounded by 3 large trucks. Definitely construction work of some kind. I fell back onto my bed and jammed my pillow over my ears, but it's futile. The noise pounds straight through my wall. No matter what way I turn, it continues to throttle me from all sides. Aggravated, I leap out of bed and head to my living room, kneading at the tension between my temples. Of all times to choose construction, did it really have to be at such an ungodly hour? I retreat to the living room and lie on the sofa, but sleep avoids me. Looks like it's gone for good. Well, clearly, this isn't going to work. I decide to just get up and start the day. Let's see. Breakfast. Fridge. Completely empty, of course. To be fair, it's been a while since I've gone grocery shopping, but that does nothing to stop my growing irritation. This day looks like it'll be fantastic. I head to the door to pull on my shoes, but a sudden alert from my phone stops me in my tracks. The hell? Need a cleaver? From Crimson Crusade at lemonypost.com, April 12th, Thursday at 6:18 a.m. I have not heard from you in some time, Mr. Troll. Is a night bothering you? Nights can often be unreasonable. No, I don't need another mysterious email. I don't need advice. I don't need any of this. Unreasonable? Wasn't there something about the case that was unreasonable? Come to think of it, maybe I should check into the independent killings again. From the sounds of it, those killings might have a substantial connection to this case. Well, I guess the internet exists for a reason. I withdraw my phone, running a search on the independent killings. Only a few options pop up, and when I tap on them, they never load, only spinning in place. What the heck? I tap again, refresh, restart my browser. Nothing. My internet's fine. I check the NNN website and it loads within a second, but nothing with the independent killings. Seriously? The last thing I need is tech problems. Today seems to be one of those days where nothing goes right. I struggle to keep still, breathing deeply to stave off the irritation. My interrupted sleep, paired with a nagging twist of hunger, is starting to haze my brain. No, I need to fight this. First, I have to buy groceries and make some breakfast. Filling my stomach will help me think clearer. I head to the kitchen for my book of coupons. Technically, I'm not short on money, but it never hurts to be safe. It's one of the few things I can do for my parents. But when I look through the drawer, I find a phone tucked away in the back crevice. A phone? What's a phone doing here? Why'd the music get so creepy? Yeah, what is a phone doing in Yama's apartment? That's kind of strange. Maybe Rue left it? Curious, I pick it up, turning it over in my hands. I don't recognize it. It's the latest premium Lemniscate model, upscale even for my standards. Whoever owns this has to be a really rich kid. I try to switch the phone on, but nothing happens. Not even the empty battery indicator. Odd. Is it completely dead? I pry the back panel open only to find that there's nothing where the battery should be. Weird. Looks like someone took out the battery. So now I've got this random phone, and I have no idea where it came from. Wait, isn't this the model that Mizaki was talking about before? It says here that they're holding some kind of lottery drawing for weed? What? Why would they be giving that away at a drawing? I'm puzzled as well. Someone mind explaining what this weed is? WEED is just an acronym for Wall Electric Energy Director. It's a new Lemniscate cell phone that can run on power from a wall socket even without a battery. Huh. That's right. If this is the new model that Misaki was raving about, I can just use my universal Lemniscate charger to turn it on. I plug the phone into the wall, holding my breath as I tap the switch. The wallpaper glimmers to life, a cheery group photo of 7 or so people taken in the school courtyard. What the? These faces are the faces of Shoji, Akane, Haru, and Yaiko. Huddled around them are 3 other students whom I don't recognize, but I think I've seen them around the cafeteria as the Happy Club. Could this be Yaiko's phone? No, he hasn't come over since last week. And even if he did, there's no reason he'd leave his phone here, much less without a battery. Then I notice that the phone has no lock system, no number code, no fingerprint recognition, no voice command. Something feels dirty about looking through someone else's personal information, but given the circumstances, it can't really be helped. I hold my breath and slide the lock aside. A barrage of messages pop onto the screen, all from Yaiko. Bewildered, I filter through them. Yaiko Akari, new messages. Dude, where are you? Dude, tell me right now. Haru! How is this phone in our house? Did Yama accidentally pick it up when he was in the alley the other night and he seen his body? Haru, pick up your damn phone. I'm coming, so help me. I'm coming for you, damn it! The phone slips out of my hands and clatters onto the counter. I stare at it wordlessly, aghast. This is Haru's phone? What is Haru's phone doing in my apartment? Frantically, I check the timestamp of the messages. 2 nights ago, just an hour after the train incident. The train accident where Yaiko had allegedly been arrested and taken to the police. Was that why his words were so harsh? But then, why did I see him in District 6 that night? Haru, Yaiko, Shoji. The lapse. What happened during the lapse? Ugh. I stumbled to the couch, my vision spinning before my eyes. What's going on? Images shift in front of my eyes and overwhelm my vision. I'm in my apartment, but I'm out of my apartment. I'm in the present, but I'm in the past. Everything smells like iron. Iron, trash, smoke. I walk forward, and the carpet against my feet turns to slime. District 6. I am in District 6. I'm in my laps. I stagger forward, blindly reaching for a hole on the wall, a garbage bin, anything. My shoes catch against something on the ground. I barely hold my balance. Just a few feet away lies a corpse, hewn with long, slender cuts over every inch of its skin, trickles of red seeping into the ground. A dark pool sloshes over the cement, sluggishly crawling toward my shoes. I step forward, fixed with morbid fascination, and peer into the corpse's mutilated face. Ugh. Oh my god, we get to see it without it flashing. Oh my god. No. What's Haru? Why is he... I have to be mistaken. I have to. Nausea kindles in my stomach. I'm struck still with shock. My limbs frozen to the ground. Iron fills my nostrils, strangling me. I'm sorry. The body is unmoving, still, rid of its suffering. I run. I sprint as fast as my legs will take me, weaving through buildings, streets, until my lungs are pleading for air. My surroundings whistle past me, twisting into macabre images of mocking beasts. Too late. Always too late. Yama! I grind to a halt, struggling to keep a grip on my panic. Yaiko stands before me, his phone open and a light in his hand. He's pale in the moonlight, almost to the point of being a ghost. Yaiko? What are you doing here? We stare wordlessly at each other. Yaiko suddenly shakes his head, as if waving his thoughts away. Have you seen Haru? That depends on your definition of see. Now's probably the worst time to have a smart mouth, but I can't help myself. I have to find some cruel humor in the moment, or I'll break. I saw what was left of him. Yama, why would you say that? I mean, it doesn't show that Yama is killed Haru in his lap so far, but still, saying that to Yaiko, does Yaiko or Yama have anything to do with this? I'm still so confused about this. You what? Yaiko's eyes search my face, but I'm unable to speak. He quickly grabs my shoulders. Then what are you doing? You shouldn't even be here. I scoff at this. No, really? Yaiko rifles his fingers through his hair agitatedly. Don't you dare tell anyone. His eyes are pleading, but the urgency in his words startle me. Why not? Look, no one can know about this. His evasiveness makes me wonder. It's almost as if he already knows that Haru died. Scared someone will find out. Whoa, does Yaiko? Is Yaiko killing people? He falters, staring at me in disbelief. I'm trying to help you, dude. You have to get out of here. Now. His voice is flat. I don't even know who I'm talking to. This is not the same Yaiko that I've known for 2 years. Why would I... Go. Leave. The intensity of his voice shocks me into obedience. I race away, fleeing to the safety of my apartment. I don't look back. I throw the door open and race to the bathroom, sagging against the toilet as nausea rolls in my stomach. Haru's injuries flash before my eyes, inducing a fit of retching. It feels like hours before my body finally seems to calm down. What did I just see? My hallucination merges with reality. I'm hunched over the sink, staring emptily down the drain. Haru, mutilated to death. Yaiko, in District 6 without any rhyme or reason. Everything pointing to me, or rather, the unaccountable alien in my body during the lapses. Gone. It's all gone. I'm too late. I can't. I shouldn't. I didn't. Mizu, Haru, Shoji. I stood by. I killed them. I killed them all. Blood. When there's enough of it, the metallic scent kind of turns sweet. Almost like a rich, vibrant pool of paint. Paint that gets everywhere, that seeps into the walls, the cement. Ha, ha, ha. Paint. Art. I've never been much of an artist. Maybe if I was, Rue would have stayed, but Rue left. No, I chased her. I killed her, just like I have with everyone else. Is this a hallucination, or is Yama admitting that he killed everybody? I'm done with all of this. Too late. And there goes the bell. Finally. Gosh, I thought that class would never end. Don't forget, big test tomorrow. My class groans in unison, but I don't join them. I've accepted my fate. I'll just suck at math forever, so I might as well not study. Great. Oh, am I Rue right now? What? Who am I? Wait. Who the hell am I? Okay, I'll just keep reading. Great, now I sound like Yama. Yama, big dummy, whining dummy, antsy dummy, dummy that I haven't seen since the train accident. Yeah, it's Rue. Okay. Yeah, I'm worried. Is that pathetic? I feel like that's pathetic. After the words he said, I should be mad at him. How could he say things like that? How could he use that kind of weak spot against me? I still trust him. I guess I can't seem to stop trusting him. Besides, if I'm honest, I said some terrible stuff too. I just want to talk it out. We haven't had an argument this bad since Miki left. I know everything will be fine if we can just talk it out. But why do I need to be the one to take the first step? Okay, I know I was insensitive, but doesn't Yama know that I just want what's best for him? He's never really been able to take care of himself. He's basically a big overgrown baby. A really attractive big overgrown baby. My cheeks still flush, remembering how he suddenly wrapped his arms around me and shielded my eyes from seeing Shoji. Whoa, okay Rue, cut it out. That's just pathetic. Someone who I knew died right in front of me, and instead I'm just thinking about my crush. Is this what they mean by coping mechanism? Ugh, anyway, Yama, baby Yama. Or is that why Yama got so upset? Because I keep thinking that he needs to be taken care of. I don't know. It's been so long since we've been so distant. I don't even know what to do. Is this what twins feel like when they're separated? Lost? Even if they technically have other friends? Like certain meddlesome roommates whose name I won't mention, but may or may not be called Akira? But anyway, being apart is like walking without shoes, or doing homework with a pen instead of a pencil. It's not seriously bad, it's just weird, not comfortable. Maybe I should just talk to him. And from the way things are going at this school, it's better not to live with regrets. But at the same time, can I really do it? Hey Rue! A classmate pops in front of me with a cheery wave. I totally forgot her name, but I instinctively return her smile. Hey, what's up? We're heading to GFC. You game? My smile falters. GFC. What I wouldn't give for a trip to GFC with everyone there. Sorry, I think I'll pass. Aw, don't be such a party pooper. Come on. I really can't, but thanks for the invite. You're not going to talk to Addie Hidaga, are you? What? Where did that come from? I don't know. Well, you used to hang out with her. I glance in Ari's direction out of the corner of my eye. Even though school's technically ended, she's calmly sitting at her seat, munching a peach. I used to just go up and talk to her because of her quietness, how she was bullied, how she was labeled. It really reminded me of Yama. I still should reach out to her. I should still defend her. But it just hurts. Is that why you were with me? Sticking around someone you know you're better at everything? Probably made you feel really good about yourself. It's not true. It can't be. I wouldn't have done something like that, right? Didn't some philosopher once come up with a theory that every act someone did was only done to help themselves? That there's no such thing as a real good deed? Helping elderly people is just to make yourself feel better. Giving to the homeless is just to get attention. Loving family is just to repay them for raising you. That, in the end, everything is selfish, and selfless love doesn't exist. No, that can't be possible. He must have been a real moper. Rue? Huh, oh, sorry. I just remembered that I left my laundry in the washing machine. The lie passes smoothly from my lips. What's even scarier is that I don't feel a hint of guilt. Oh, I see. That happens to me all the time. I know, right? I should really set an alarm. Well, guess we'll get going. See ya. Have a good time. The moment she exits the room, though, I instantly drop my smile. Great, now I'm a fake, just like the rest of them. You're looking a bit under the weather. What's up? Akira suddenly leaps from beneath my desk. Why? Wait, what? Why is she underneath all these desks? I smile in relief. I think it's real this time. Hey Akira, should I ask why you're hiding under my desk? Well, I'd tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. So, drama club? I don't think so. Not today. She stares at me, not in a judging way, but definitely searching for answers. Remember what you promised? Yeah, but he's not even at school. That's exactly why you should come. We're doing confidence exercises. That way, after club, you can go right to his apartment. What? Today? Well, no time like the present. I can't do that. Not in our current situation. The situation won't change unless you make it, Rue. It's a universal fact. The law of inertia? Precisely. An object in motion stays in motion with the same speed in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Currently, the object that is your and Yama's relationship is headed straight into a black hole, where it will be crushed to tiny bits, or create a time-space paradox that unravels the very fabric of the universe. I point dramatically to the sky. She grins in satisfaction. Exactly, so you should try, as soon as possible. I lower my hand. I'll try. I say this mainly to appease her. Honestly, I don't want anything to do with Yama, not anymore. Even thinking about him hurts. Hurts to the point where I feel like I can barely breathe. Rue, it'll all be okay. You'll look back on this one day and think, ha, well I was as silly as a goose in a soap opera. My throat feels sore. I want to believe her. Honest. Thanks, Agent Angle. Oh, it's nothing, Agent Goose. Both Silly Goose and Mother Goose. She squeezes my shoulder comfortably. I'm going to club, okay? Come when you can. Everyone misses you. Okay, have a great time. As always. She squeezes my shoulder again and disappears into the hallway. I should feel terrible for lying, but I can't bring myself to feel anything at all. I take up my bag and exit the school. It feels more like something out of a habit than my own conscious choice. I actually don't come to my senses until I reach the school entrance. Why am I here? There's no reason for me to leave. I live on campus. I don't have any activities, and I'm not going to eat anywhere. Oh, right. The idiots and I used to hang out here, usually before a trip to GFC. But there isn't anyone now. What was that? Dude, something dark was flashing in the corner of my screen. I turn back to the school, but a sudden movement catches the corner of my eye. Huh? What was that? I head around the corner, but there's nothing except a trash bin. Weird. I must be tired. I think about heading back to my dorm to rest, but a curious suggestion makes me hesitant. Now that she's supplied the idea of visiting Yama today, I can't get it out of my head. It's a terrible idea. He hates me. He doesn't want to see me. He's tired of me, right? But who's reminding that idiot to pay his utility bills on time? Who's dragging his sorry butt through school? Who's keeping him from collapsing out of exhaustion? Ugh, Akira, why? Fine, I'll go, just for a few seconds. Pop in, make sure that some nuclear disaster hasn't happened, pop out, easy, right? I should stop asking rhetorical questions. They tend to give me the answers I don't want. What was that? Huh? I turn around, peering down the road. Just normal people, normal cars, normal houses. Nothing out of the ordinary. Dude, no way. What is happening right now? I must just be really tired. Okay, what's going on? I try to walk closer to the street and blend into the crowd, but I swear that there's this constant shadow on the edge of my sight. No matter what way I turn, I can't seem to see it. There, again! I start to pick up the pace, weaving into more populated streets. Still there. Someone following us? Whatever's going on, I need to get out of here. Maybe I'm just being stupid, but I swear that that shadow's actually following me. I jog back to the school, only stopping for breath when everything seems safe. No sign of that person, whoever they were. Good. What was that? It looked like they were behind the school, but that's not possible, is it? The only entrance is the gate. How did they get in without seeing me? The figure starts running straight at me. I don't even have time to think. I immediately sprint away, heading back to the main street. Why did she run back? Dude, you should have ran to your dorm. If anything can protect me, this crowd can. I grind to a halt somewhere in the mass of people gathered by the crosswalk. When I glance behind me, I still see the figure hanging around the edge of the buildings. I can't even get a distinct outline, but I swear that I see two glinting eyes in the shadows. And they seem to be looking right at me. I shudder, pressing myself as close to the crowd as possible. Thankfully, when the stoplight turns green, the figure doesn't follow. But it's a little strange. Why does that person seem so familiar? I come to a start with my head pounding terribly. This must be what it's like to have a hangover. My eyes absently scan the surroundings out of habit. City, nighttime, sitting on a bench, cool breeze and a clear sky, and weather that I would have enjoyed in different circumstances. That's right, I lapsed. Are we back to Yama now? I draw out my phone, almost lazily, my brain still fuzzy as I check the time. 10 p.m. I've been out of it for how many hours? 14? The entire day, gone. No record of where I went or what I've been doing. I check my bank records on my phone. Nothing new. Photos, notes, calendar, nothing. Pockets? Doesn't look like anything stolen. At least, nothing super important. No messages and no calls, whether incoming or outgoing, unless they've been deleted. Is that it? Wait, something's in my jacket pocket. Right, the troublesome phone of Haro Bunya. Why did they leave Rue like that? Like, is someone following her? What happened? Haro Bunya, who was brutally murdered. Haro Bunya, who had the latest phone model. Hanyu Bunya, who, after being murdered, somehow had his latest phone model make its way into my apartment. If this doesn't raise more than a few questions, nothing will. I don't seem to care. Why don't I seem to care? Well, I guess it's not like I'm going to get any answers by just standing around here. I should head back to my apartment, take another look, see if I missed anything, now that I'm actually thinking clearly. Almost a little too clearly, actually. But what's this? As I draw near to my apartment complex, I notice the line of police cars surrounding the entrance gate, lights flaring and sirens blaring. In the center of their light stands none other than Shigure Inamoto, deep in conference with the police officer I recognized from my little trip into the forest. As per usual, Shigure is practically screaming her lungs out with every word. Are you not cognizant of the impetus by which I have come? Officer Kobayashi, the Bureau has contended that this student must be incarcerated under suspicion of the recent homicides. So I'm aware. I harbored my own suspicions. And you contend that such an intellectually impaired ersatz for a humanoid sloth could possess the sophisticated genius necessary to orchestrate the mass murder of his associates? Wait, is she talking about me? Are they talking about me? If the police are here, if the police are talking about me, they're waiting to arrest me? You know him more than I do. What is your opinion on the matter? He was my errand boy. You claim to be good at reading people. Are you saying that you misread the suspect? A muscle in Shigure's jaw twitches. She stuffs her hands in her pockets and mutters something that I barely catch. I am not wrong. Then you agree that Yama Ishimoto is the prime suspect? What? Would she? Shigure, the legitimate detective, does she believe that I'm the killer? She wouldn't, right? The emptiness in my chest promptly dissipates, replaced by pounding fear. Even if Shigure believes it, doesn't that mean that it's true? I agree. She agrees. I agree. The universe agrees. I try to step back into the shadows. My feet fumble and I clutch desperately at the wall, staring blankly before me. I'm glad we're on the same page. Now we'll submit a request to Lemniskate to track his phone. The time such an action would take is too substantial. Barring the convict conveniently shares his location with us, the process can take up to 48 hours. Then we better get started. He motions to several officers standing by. They gather around him in a loose circle. Wordlessly, I turn on my heels and sprint away. Where to? I can't even say. My shoes seem to move automatically, even as my mind stands still. Corner here, turn here, stop here. Yeah, that's right. I'm not just an ordinary high school student who woke up from an overlong nap. I'm a murder suspect, a guilty conscience, someone who holds the phone of a murder victim in his hand after the victim's death. Shigure, she's not the type to lie to protect someone. I should have expected that answer from her. Then if I accept it, shouldn't I be turning myself in? Alright guys, I'm gonna end this episode right here. Oh my god. Every time I try to have Yama have like a positive experience with his friends or something like that, like something bad will happen. So now Yama, if Shigure is saying it, like maybe Yama is the killer. The people that I think could be the murderers right now is Natsuki, Yaiko, or Yama, or maybe even that police officer. I mean, he seems sketchy. I don't know, just something with him holding his hand, like, just gives me a creepy feeling. But those are the people that I suspect right now. So anyway, make sure you share the content. If you're enjoying my playthrough of Lucid Inciting Incident so far, please leave a like. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments. And make sure you subscribe and click that bell button to know when I upload the next episode of Lucid Inciting Incident. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great night. Bye!